President Trump signals a possible escalation
I have a plan for everything, but we'll see what happens.
in the Israel and Iran war. Calls for more security.
Definitely better to be safe than sorry.
Why members of Congress feel the need for better protection. And the Federal Reserve makes an announcement.
It doesn't feel productive.
On interest rates. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Stephanie Tenia.
And I'm Ivan Ilewski. Happy Thursday, almost the weekend. Today's June 19th, 2025.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
President Donald Trump speaks out.
Tensions between Iran and the United States are hitting a boiling point, with President Trump now saying his patience has, quote, already run out.
But the president hasn't confirmed whether the U.S. will take military action, as Iran's supreme leader warns that any strike would cause irreparable damage. Caplin News reporter Brianna Arias brings us the story.
I have a plan for everything, but we'll see what happens. Got a ways to go.
The president keeping his cards close to the chest when it comes to the U.S. intervention between Israel and Iran. Those countries trading military strikes for a sixth day. Israel claims Iran is on the brink of weaponizing their nuclear program. But as recently as March, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard testified the U.S. intel assessed Iran was not actively building a nuclear weapon.
Have the Iranians reached out to you?
Yes.
And what did they say?
I said it's very late.
The Iranian mission to the United Nations responded on X, saying no Iranian official has ever asked to grovel at the gates of the White House and will respond to any action with reciprocal measures.
The more bellicose the Iranians get, I think the higher the chances are that the United States will join with Israel in these strikes on these deeply buried nuclear facilities.
Mr. President, have you given the Iranians an ultimatum?
You could say so. They know what's happening. Maybe you could call it the ultimate ultimatum, right?
What essentially was that, though?
Oh, I don't want to say.
The USS Ford Carrier strike group is now expected to be deployed to Europe next week, making the third aircraft carrier in close proximity to the conflict, according to 3 sources familiar with the matter. I'm Brianna Arias reporting for Caplin News.
In the wake of a recent attack on a state legislator in Minnesota, there's a push in Washington to increase security for members of Congress.
Caplin's D.C. Bureau reporter Rosaura Mendoza brings us the perspective from Capitol Hill, where staff and visitors are responding to new discussions on safety. She's live in Washington.
Good morning, Rosaura.
Good morning. I'm right outside of the Capitol building, where new security measures are being put into place. But the goal is not only to protect members of Congress, but also thousands of staff and visitors who walk through these buildings every day.
The Capitol Police and Sergeant-at-Arms are coordinating with local law enforcement and various intelligence agencies to assess the threats against members of Congress and the Capitol complex. Interns working inside the Senate offices have mixed feelings about this.
I think it's good. It's definitely better to be safe than sorry. Even though there is already a lot of security, I think I've, just like as an intern, I can kind of see the ways in which people can really take advantage or still get in, and so it's good to not only keep our senators safe, elected representatives, but also the people, the staff, everyone else who's here, and even security, make sure that burden kind of gets taken off their hands as well.
Increased police presence and restricted entry points are impacting everyone entering the building, including staff members and visitors.
If they have to increase it to keep people safe, then obviously do it. But where we are right now, and I know a lot of things have happened, and there's just the political division we're going through. And unfortunately, I would hate to see that we have to increase, but if it's necessary to keep people safe, that come here to lobby, that come here for their civil rights, and do it peacefully in order to protect them, then yeah, if they have to increase, then they do.
For now, tighter security is the new normal on Capitol Hill. The challenge ahead is how to remain public access while preventing future threats and actual attacks. Reporting from Washington, D.C., and for Caplin News, I'm Rosaura Mendoza.
Student visa appointments are set to resume, but with tougher rules for applicants. This comes after the Trump administration paused visa appointments last month. New State Department guidance now requires embassies to screen applicants for what they're calling hostile attitudes towards the U.S. This will include a full review of their online presence, including search histories and social media activity.
FIU officially has its 7th president this morning after confirmation from the Florida Board of Governors. The university made the announcement yesterday that Jeanette Nunez has succeeded Kenneth Jezel as university president. Nunez has held the role of president designate since being selected by the school's Board of Trustees on June 2nd.
After big anticipation, the Federal Reserve decides to keep interest rate exactly where they are. But a big part of the story is what President Trump said about the chairman of the Federal Reserve. Caplin's DC Bureau reporter Laura Iglesias has more from Washington.
Just hours before the Fed made its announcement, the president had some choice words about Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
A stupid person, frankly, at the Fed. He probably won't cut today. Europe had 10 cuts, and we had none. And I guess he's a political guy. I don't know. He's a political guy who's not a smart person.
Trump has criticized Powell before, but never that harshly. The president actually appointed him during his first presidency term back in 2017.
It doesn't feel great for officials to talk about other ones like that or name call in that way. It doesn't feel productive or helpful with all the challenges that we face.
As the country awaited the Fed's decision, many were wondering how steady interest rates might affect their everyday lives.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, they have a lot of experience. They're thinking that inflation may rise in the future, so they don't feel a necessity to act on it. When they see certified data that inflation will go down and stay down, hit their benchmarks that they want, I think they'll lower rates at that time.
Powell, who Trump has targeted for years, made no mention of the criticism, emphasizing instead that the Fed's decisions are data-driven, not political. And it's actually not just Powell's decision on interest rates, but the 12 members of the Independent Federal Open Market Committee. While interest rates remain steady, the committee did mention that they could consider a cut later in the year, waiting on the possible impacts of Trump's tariffs. Reporting from Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, I'm Laura Iglesias.
And after an amazing consecutive win, the Florida Panthers may have partied a little too hard.
We're excited about the parade that's still ahead, and so is this story.
So we had thousands and thousands of hours of men flying out and using our barrier islands and things like that as targets.
A piece of history washes up on a Florida beach. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck. Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
To reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
a decades-long antique found beyond the seashells. Beachgoers near Fort Myers are surprised to find a piece of history washed ashore.
A World War II bomb was found by children who thought it was a scuba tank or something different. Caplin News reporter Valentina Gaspari is live in North Miami with more details. Valentina.
And one of the children saying they were shocked to find out that wasn't a toy, but something from back in time.
Well, we first got here a couple days ago, and the first thing spotted on the beach by Logan and Macy.
I found it. I asked you, what is
Poppy, what is this? Because it's really heavy, and it was encrusted with all kind of crustaceans and barnacles. And I took a peek at it, and I said, you know, maybe it's a piling or something.
Jim Jackson was confused when this washed ashore on Minnesota Key Saturday. MacDill Air Force Base confirming it was a 100-pound General World War II bomb used for training.
And so we had thousands and thousands of hours of men flying out and using our barrier islands and things like that as targets to learn how to bomb before they were shipped over to Europe or over to the Pacific. So it's not uncommon for that sort of thing to be out in our waters.
Matt Johnson, the executive director of the IMAG History and Science Center, walking through their collection of World War II artifacts, including pieces from a B-6 bomber that once flew out of the Page Field in Fort Myers back in 1942. He talked about what you should do if you ever see anything like this washed ashore.
Well, the good news is most of the ordnance that was dropped around here were dummy bombs. So they were dropped, they didn't have an explosive shell in them, they were used just for target practice. So most likely it's that. But I would say this, do not touch it, do not get anywhere near it, immediately call the authorities.
And thankfully, the local Air Force says the bomb was empty when they found it and there was no threat to the public. Live in North Miami, I'm Valentina Gaspari, Caplin News.
The Miami Marlins lost their third game of the home series against the Phillies in a disappointing fashion. Bryson Stott hit a 3-run homer to give Philadelphia the lead in the 4th inning. Connor Norby hit a solo run for Miami, but the Marlins couldn't come back. The final score was Phillies 4, Marlins 2. The Marlins can still tie their 4-game series tonight at 6:40 at Lone Depot Park.
The Edmonton Oilers aren't the only thing Florida destroyed this week as the Panthers celebrate their Stanley Cup victory, perhaps a little too much. The celebration came at the expense of the trophy itself, somehow with the Panthers players cracking the rim of the Stanley Cup. But not to worry, a spokesperson for the Hockey Hall of Fame told the Associated Press that the keepers of the cup plan to have it repaired in time for the Panthers celebration parade on Sunday. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
Stand is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Iván Ilowski.
And Stephanie Tenia. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.
Make sure to be safe this weekend.
Happy Thursday.